Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we have some TreeL1 action going on. That's right, it's not the C8. So to start this video off, I'm going to catch you guys up. We pulled the 416 out of my car, the TreeL1, because we were putting in a bigger camshaft and I had a bigger motor sitting here. The 416 will go into my Yukon with the turbo setup that we were building for it. But with that said, we have the Bigger Boy Camshaft. The reason why we're putting the bigger camshaft in was because the car was falling on its face in the top end. And well, we just felt like we needed a bigger camshaft. We're going to start dynoing it on low boost and see where it winds up.
768. I think the throttle body's failing in the top end.
Huh.
$853, 807. Throttle body's still acting up.
It's not bad.
You have to replace the throttle body.
Because 850 rear wheel horsepower on pump gas alone, no math, isn't enough. We're going to take this 80 millimeter pulley off and replace it with a 75 millimeter to see if we can make something insane, and then add math and see if we can make something insaner. Is insaner a word? No. It is now. So I was making about 15 pounds of boost, plus or minus a smidge. I'm not sure where this is going to put me, so I'm going to take out some timing. I'm only going to take out 4 degrees of timing when I have all the factory knock sensitivity and whatnot, so hopefully it's going to get through the pull without issue first time, and then we'll try adding some of that extra timing that I took out back in. So I didn't get a lot of dyno footage going on because I don't really have a video guy. And with that, I'm just going to show you the numbers since I had to do a lot of the filming. Some of this was after hours, some of it was, you know, as we were during business hours, but I didn't really have a video guy. I did get some snippets, so here you go.
So for the first pull, we're seeing 799 horsepower. Whoops, and the torque is probably going to be 79. And we're falling on its face up top. It looks like we might have some belt slip. I'm gonna have to look into that real quick. Yeah, that looks like a lot of belt slip. So what I'm seeing boost-wise is we get up to what seems to be about 17 pounds of boost, and then on the very top side, it starts going up higher, which that's interesting. That probably means that we have a restriction in the exhaust somewhere. We did put the factory cap back on because the obscene one that I had on was like too obscene, so I stopped using it. But I might have to go back to it now. That would suck. So a couple little tricks. We are at 855 horsepower at 120 miles per hour. That should be somewhere in here. Oh my gosh, it's all over the place. Let me try to make this look better. It's looking a little bit better. I don't think we went above here. So I think that I don't know. I'm gonna look at that. Let me see. If we go by speed. Yep. So, I don't know that I really want to keep running this pulley. Although, maybe. We'll see. Let me look at the boost. So what I'm seeing through this pull, good, clean pull, good fuel pressure too, is that the boost comes through, and then that time it did okay. There is a little blip at like 6,500. I don't know what that shenanigan is. It might be a smidge belt slip right there, causing that little dip on the dyno. That might be what I'm feeling. That time it did not go up obscenely high, but it looks like it's about to, so I'm going to add a little bit more timing into it. Maybe take it from, let's take it from about 5,500. We'll add 2 more degrees to it and see what kind of shenanigans we get into.
Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more. We're going to see if this works. I'm going to try to position you guys so you get the exhaust view. Let's see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to sticking you guys behind some conduit. Hopefully this works. Looks like my phone's still on the wall, and it's still recording. I hope I got something good. And we made 880 on pump gas, with the RPM reader losing its mind, but 880, and then kind of fell on its face in the high end. I really don't like that. I think that we've hit the limit of the factory exhaust, something there. So that kind of sucks. I'm going to turn the boost back down, because I'm not going to, well, I want to run it on just pump 2. And, well, this catback might be the issue, but we got to experiment a little bit more here. So with a little further review here, I do see the boost is creeping up. You see how that very top side, that's when, you know, the boost tends to, it's backing up. And I think that's going to be the catback. So it's basically hanging out at like 17-ish, 16, 17-ish pounds of boost until 6,600, and then all of a sudden it's going up to 19 or so, and that's indicative of an exhaust restriction, the boost backing up like that, or an intake restriction after basically the camshaft. But this is a pretty big camshaft, so I kind of doubt that. Okay, so for some comparison's sake between the two pulleys, I don't know that the increase is worth it when it's falling on its face up top. You can kind of see how there's no inkling that this one's going to fall on its face. In fact, it doesn't really peak, but it looks like somewhere right around here. So that 116 miles per hour, let's see if we can pick it up in RPM. It doesn't look like we're going to, based on the RPM reading, kind of goofy there. Yeah. Well, probably somewhere around here. The I don't know, it's up here. I don't know. I could figure this out. You guys ready? We're going to figure this out. We're going to use engine RPM from the one good pull, and we'll do this by speed. So it looks about right there, about 5,700 RPMs. And ironically, correlating a little bit with the RPM reader goofing up, about 5,700 RPMs. I think that's, and about 870 some horsepower. I believe that is when the factory catback starts taking a dump. And you can even see that right at the red line there, we're making more power on like 4 more pounds of boost, maybe 5 more pounds of boost. So obviously we think that the catback is an issue. It's nice to get those peak numbers, but now I can't rev it out all the way because I'd want to rev it out a little bit further than this, and it's just not going to happen. So is that worth it? I do not think so. We're going to go back to an 80 and spray the meth, or change the exhaust. Now the exhaust costs money. Now I already have the AFE exhaust, but it's way too loud. I hate driving it around because it's like obscenely loud. So I want something that can be super duper quiet and super duper loud. So we'll look into that. I have some ideas, and yeah, we'll get it on and see if that makes a big difference. Okay, so we're going to test this exhaust theory by pulling the extensions down and just seeing how this kind of works. How you doing down there, Mike?
Good.
All right. It's only a little loud. With the dumps, the narrowband data is reading properly. You can see that it's oscillating properly. That's the blue lines there. But the wide bands aren't reading anything because they're near the end of the pipe. And what's happening is the air kind of like fluctuates and it's just reading lean because of it. What we're going to see is at full throttle, we might get a reading, but it also still might not be accurate. Did I?
Oh, yeah.
Did we catch it on video?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. I don't know what that is.
Timing or no?
No, but it definitely is. I don't know. I think we go back to the. I'll have to look. I didn't look at the log yet. That, I don't know what that is. It could be the throttle body acting like an asshole, because it was doing that. Boost-wise, we hit that thing and the boost does not creep in the top end. The boost stays pretty steady at 16, 17-ish pounds. What I am seeing though is we are losing some fuel pressure. That's just a little too much for the factory fuel system. We've definitely identified that the exhaust is a culprit in changing the boost level, going from 17 to 19 and a half. That was a big one. But what I am seeing is I'm definitely out of fuel pump. Not bad. No knock. Stock knock sensor data too. So that's excellent as well. I think I need a catback. I think that's what we're going to do. So the thought has crossed my mind now that maybe changing the camshaft out wasn't exactly needed. See, on an 80mm pulley, we seem to be running just fine. There's no exhaust restriction. But I was running a 70mm pulley, and that thing was like making some serious steam. And I think that the high end, like falling on its face thing that I was worried about, might not have actually been the camshaft. So I might have put a 427 cubic inch engine in here because I just wanted to, I guess. But yeah, I'm a little surprised about this. I guess possibly because I went back from the AFE catback to the stock catback. Maybe that's why I'm seeing such things, but it is what it is, and I'm happy to have the 427 in it. Right? Right?
I'm going to turn the meth on. I've loaded a meth tune. So, wish us luck.
938, no idea what the fuel is. It's holding the power band out a little bit better. Still a little weirdness right there, but I don't know. I'm not.
I think it liked the timing a lot.
Yeah. Well, I only added timing probably right in here, so I mean the meth definitely helped. Yeah, I got to figure out what's going on up top here. Whatever's happening at that point, that's probably like 57, 5800. Something's weird. Something weird is just going on. Something's holding it back.
So we were throwing a 2101 code, which is a throttle actuator control code. We're going to swap in a new throttle body just to test to see if maybe that's the fluctuation we're seeing up top. Plug it in, chug it.
Okay, got the new throttle body on the test. Let's find out.
so you can see that we picked up pretty good 977 rear wheel horsepower with freer flowing exhaust, just as a test, and meth injection. This is working out really well. I think that our next step is to make it somewhat more permanent. Either I'm going to do this with a full catback system instead of the axle back, or I'm going to do it with cutouts, which are considerably cheaper. I'm not sure which one. For the time being, I'm going to bump it back down to the lower boost, the 80mm pulley. That way I can run 850 rear wheel horsepower without having to run meth injection or whatever. I have just enough fuel at that point to run pump gas only, so trying to run any E-mix is just not going to happen unless I run the meth, in which case maybe I'll put it back on the dyno for that. We'll see what happens. The only other thing that I'm seeing that concerns me is in the top there's a little bit of a wave, and I believe that to be a little bit of a belt slip. It's very small. It drops like a pound, maybe 2 for a little bit, and then right back up. I'm not too concerned about it, especially going back to the other pulley. We'll get that all squared away when we actually turn it up for good. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody sticking with us. I have a cool little announcement, but stay tuned for the next video because you're going to see the TreeL1 in action on the street, and it is fun. Adios.